today we're going to talk about sounds. Sounds are whatever you want them to be in the game. It could be soundtracks or sound effects. Really, you can use it whatever you want. We'll be working with a very short sound snippet to avoid copyright issues with music. Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is let's just make a new folder to keep everything organized, and we'll call it sounds. Now, we don't have any sounds, so what we're going to do is need to get some sounds. One option for you to get your sounds from, this is where I got all my sounds from, you can use them commercially or for private projects, is Pixabay. So check that out, they have a ridiculous amount of stuff on here. Now what we're going to need to do is just go ahead and convert this MP3 to a WAV or WAV file. You can use whatever free converter online you want. I'm using Cloud Convert. We're going to convert it. Okay, now that we have a WAV sound file, we're going to go ahead and put that in our project. And we can hit play here. We can hear it work. And we're going to go ahead and go into audio and create a sound cue. I'm going to call this sound cue YouTube sound cue. I'm going to go into it and we can drag our punch into it, and now we have output. We drag the output into the output, and there's things to do here, like we can add in looping, or you can right click and you can see a bunch of audio mixing options, which I'm not an audiophile. I'm not quite familiar with a lot of this stuff, but I know what a looping node means. And this will make the sound loop pretty much forever. There's also a looping option within here. So, I don't know. If you are into audio stuff, there's lots of things to mess with here. I am not. I have used a few, like random is very useful. So what this could do is, like, we could put in, say we had two different punches, punch 1 and punch 2, and we wanted to alternate randomly between them. We would plug the different ones in here, and then the output into the output, and it would randomly swap between these 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, how many you would like. For now, let's just do this. Hit save, and we can hit play cue just to test it. Now that we have our sound cue, we have to decide on how we're going to use it. And we have options here. The first and easiest way is just to drag it into our scene. Oop. And we can go over here into our options. The important thing in this right now is we're going to look for this auto activate, and we want to go ahead and leave that checked. So basically, as soon as the game starts, the sound should play. Now this might be perfect for some simple background music or something like that, but what if we wanted it to play a different way, maybe from a button press? Well, here's how we do that. Let's go into the blueprints for our character. And we have our previous 1 key set up. If you don't know how to get to that, you just right click, go into here. I'm going to literally put the number 1 and go and just look for the keyboard event right here. 1, also 10, and all those. Anyways, it is being used to trigger our animation. So let's also have it play our sound cue. So we're just going to have it play sound at location, and we're going to have it play our YouTube sound cue. The location is going to be at just the default world location. We could adjust that to where like the player is if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that at the moment. So this should work just by using this play sound at location, then selecting the sound. Of course, it will play at a certain place, but play a sound when we do our animation here. I believe that is working. So of course, you can do sound from blueprints and sound actually in the editor as an actor as well, or an object, whatever you want to call it. However you choose to do it is up to you. Now in blueprints, your options are kind of more varied. This is just one very particular way you could do it. You could do it from on collision, on event collision or triggers, on timers, all kinds of different ways. We haven't really talked about that yet. We'll talk about more how to do that kind of thing when we get more into blueprints. But this is the key component, is creating a sound cue itself and kind of just playing with it and seeing how you plan to use it in the first place. Anyways, that brings us to the end of the video. If you guys were able to recreate this in your project, hopefully I have earned your like, comment, or subscription today. Alternatively, we do also have a Patreon if that's your thing. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. I'll see you in the next video.